decorative bracelet that men wear, or chronographs were meant to do stuff, to do work, not only to show the time. Whichever the work, you know, depending on the case and the bezel that you put together with the chronograph movement, you know, it could do several calculations, like works per second, per minute, per hour, miles or kilometers per hour. Could calculate distance between one source of sound and yourself. Go calculate fuel consumption, whatever. Yeah, they were really tools. They are still tools, but they are pretty undervalued at the moment, as per the functionality, not per the cost itself. A chronograph usually costs, depending on the chronographs, of course, usually costs a little bit more than a normal only time watch, because the complication. But okay, forget about that. Let's get back to our movement. So this is how it works. A 7T3 movement. This is the crown. When it's fully in, it doesn't do anything. Okay. When you push it 2 clicks out, so I will repeat it without talking so you can hear it. You can set the time. And as you can see, here, there is a small, the tip of a wheel with its leaves. And that is what makes the hour wheel move. Look at that. So I repeat here, or better with the tip of the tweezers here. And when I turn the crown, it will start turning, and the hour will start turning too. It should at least, but in this case it doesn't, because there are teeth missing. If I go backwards, you can see it moving. See? But if I turn the other way, it will arrive at a point that it won't turn anymore. You see? It doesn't turn anymore, no matter how hard I try to turn. And this is because the teeth of the hour wheel are broken. So how do we confirm this? It's pretty easy. The only thing we have to do is first remove the date dial guards by removing the pins. And these pins are these two white here. Here and here. So you need a not so large screwdriver for those. And you have to be really careful on this, because they're plastic, and you don't have to turn them like normal screws. They're pins, they're not screws. So you just have to turn them 90 degrees in the direction of the arrows that you see that are etched on the plate. You see here and here. So basically the slit on the pin has to be aligned. This position is closed. Unfortunately the light is giving me, because it's white. Okay, I hope you can see that now. So the slit on the pin is pointing to this topmost arrow. and you have to turn it 90 degrees round until it is aligned with this arrow. So it's pretty straightforward actually. So you just you don't need force, absolutely no force. It's just push a little bit down the screw and then just turn it 90 degrees counterclockwise. And there you have it. To remove these pins, I use Rodico. I just grab them like this, press it a little bit, and oh, is this a little bit stuck? Oh, come out, okay. Okay. And this is why you don't turn them, because if you look at them, they're pretty peculiar. As you can see, it's just like a T basically that goes inside the movement and latches on some teeth on the underside of the top plate. Okay. This one is the same. Now what you do is we remove the date dial guard, which is this metal plate here. And I do that also using a piece of Rodico and just lifting it up. As you can see, there's nothing underneath it, but you can see some traces of oil. I will clean that later. And this is the date mechanism. So I'm trying not to scratch anything. So this is exactly, actually I see there's two problems on this watch. Who damaged this watch? Yeah, I did a pretty bad job on it because it damaged two wheels. Okay, so sorry. Let me close on top of it. Okay, as much as I can. If I go a little bit further, it will go out of focus. Anyway, let me also reposition the camera so that it's right on top of the movement. This will probably cause some shadows on the movement, but I don't care. So you see now it's out of focus, so I gotta widen up a little bit. Okay, let me put the light a little bit better so we get a little bit more light. Okay, so this is the date mechanism. Let's go wider. Of the 7T32 movements, and it's pretty straightforward. Let's put back in. Oops. So what happens when you pull the crown and stem to the first position? You engage the wheel and the satin levers. They are called intermediate wheel for calendar correction, which is this small one, and the date corrector setting wheel, which is this larger one here. And turning the crown and stem, you're basically making, oops, I went off a little bit. You're basically making them disengage or engage. So there you go, you see? Obviously, when the date dial guard is on top of it, securing the wheels in place, there is also a built-in spring that makes the date click into position. Without the dial guard in place, there is no spring, so it will go just flawlessly. But you see the mechanism, which is pretty simple, pretty straightforward, basically. Sorry if there's a finger always on the way. And this is one, okay. So what happens is, I'll show you what happens when you break this movement. You turn your date wheel and you go backwards. Let's go backwards. Okay, right about that. The thing is that aligning properly the date wheel to the stem like this, so that it's 3, the date is 3, and setting the hour, moving it forward, you will see that this date driving wheel, which is the white wheel here, the big white wheel, that's the date driving wheel. It drives the date wheel around. It has a slot here that acts like a spring, and one of these teeth, okay, rectangular teeth, has a small point. This is what catches on the inner teeth of the date wheel and pushes it around once every 24 hours. So when you basically set the date, it will turn as well. When you are at 24 hours turning, then it will catch one tooth, just like that. It's trying to catch now. It won't be able to, because this date driving wheel also has a problem. And it will push eventually, it should, but in this case it doesn't. It will push eventually the date wheel one click further. So from the date 3, we will go to date 4. You can see exactly what the problem is. The latch is a little bit bent inwards. So because the space here should be equal, okay? And this small tooth should be pointing a little bit more outwards. So that's one problem. And the other problem is exactly what I told you about before, about the hour wheel, this wheel, that what happened is that one or two teeth of the hour wheel got bent, because this small wheel here, the tip of this wheel here that's inside the movement and the leaves, they just found too much resistance when trying to set the date. And they just bent, since they are much harder, the teeth of the hour wheel. And I will demonstrate that, because if I continue turning, trying to set the hour, you will see at one point that the hour wheel won't turn anymore. It will just jump. It will just stop, I mean. And we're almost there, and here we go. And you see here, this tooth, click, did you see that? I could go a little bit backwards, and then a little bit forwards again. You see, it just, and there. It doesn't catch the wheel anymore. Sometimes it does catch, but sometimes it doesn't. See, it just, and there you go. It stops. Now you have to think that with the guard plate on top of it, it's making some pressure. So basically, its intention and the hour wheel doesn't catch anymore. Now it's a little bit free to move. That's why with a little bit of movement I am able to catch again the next teeth. But then tick, it just doesn't work. And this is also because check exactly what's happening. But in between the hour wheel and the date corrector wheel, which is the driving wheel, sorry, which is it's the white wheel, the big white wheel. As you can see, the hour wheel has these leaves. Okay, these leaves are supposed to intertwine within the teeth of the date driving wheel. Okay, and this happens perfectly well on any other teeth. Okay, as you can see, I don't know how to put it like that. Maybe I should go like this. Yes, the other way around. So you see, they are interacting pretty well. But when I try, and I get closer and closer to this particular tooth that has this pin outside that pushes the date wheel around, since it's bent, this is what happens. It's not correctly in place, so one leaf of the hour wheel is not able to enter inside the valley of in between these two teeth of the driving wheel. So basically it's doing resistance, and then it doesn't go any further, and this causes the teeth on the driving wheel to break, because basically it's stopped, the driving wheel is blocked, and you are forcing with the crown on the teeth. So if you go back, you may be able to catch it again, as I did now, but then you go forward again and click, and then it just blocks. So as a solution is to get, obviously, replacement parts. Replacement in the sense that I need a new driving wheel, and I need a new hour wheel as well. I don't know if I have them. Let me check. I do have replacement movements which are broken in other parts. For example, the PCB, the circuit block is busted or something like that. But as I said, if I only replace the movements, swapping the circuit block, it's not really a solution. I'm not doing any good. Actually, I'm not finding a solution to this problem. I'm just swapping a problem from another. Then I need a working circuit block. This movement does have a working circuit block, which is a great thing. Yeah, I want to stick to the original as much as I can. So only replacing, just like a real watchmaker would do, just replacing the damaged part or trying to fix it up. So you see, I need to replace this driving wheel and the hour wheel. So I will have to look for a perfectly working driving wheel, which is this one, even if it's a little bit dirty, and an hour wheel. The hour wheel is going to be a problem because I do not have anyone at the moment. I used the last one that I have, replacement one, for another movement. So I will try just to see if I can go without it and try to fix the tooth. It's pretty dark. It's pretty difficult, but not really. One just has to be careful. Anyway, because the tooth is bent, it's not broken, fortunately. Anyway, this is the driving wheel. Let me get a piece of rod. I can clean it up a little bit. The bad thing is that it is very similar, this movement, to another movement, which is the 7T34. It's similar, it's not identical, because the functionality is a little bit different. And the components are also similar, but they're not identical, they're not swappable, some of them at least, one with the other. And I have disassembled a couple of 7T34s, and this is probably a part from a 7T34. I never checked if it's the same as this one, but we'll see. I mean, it's just a matter of put it in, put it out. So, as you can see, the slots on this replacement wheel, it's larger and better defined as the original. This is the damaged one. This is the replacement. You see, it's very, very nicely defined. It's perfect. It works perfectly well. This is damaged. You see, it's bent inwards a little bit. So, what I can do is try to bend that outwards. And honestly speaking, I will just try to do that if it doesn't break. The problem is that I see that it got also bent. Oops. I need something else as well. That I don't find now. Oh, here it is. A base. Sorry for this stops and goes.